Hello and welcome to your daily astrology and tarot horoscope, brought to you by Nicholas the Hollywood Gypsy. This is for Thursday, October 30th of 2014, and the planet of the day is Jupiter. And Jupiter is all about good luck and expansion. As we know, Jupiter right now is in Leo, the sign that everybody says he loves to be in because it's pompous, it's royal, it's flamboyant, it gets out there, and so having, a very auspicious and lucky planet in Leo just allows us to expand our heart energy and our solar plex energy. That's kind of that solar plex chakra area that we have to deal with, and having that confidence in ourselves and being powerful within ourselves. So to embody Jupiter, just remember to do a meditation for your solar plex chakra. Understand how you're embodying your power of your day, because that's what this week is all about, is understanding how to use power properly, because the signifying card of the week is the devil. The card of the day on this Thursday, which is kind of strange, is the Six of Clouds in the Zen Osho Tarot deck. And as you can see, there's something mentally weighing us down, something that we're worrying about, that we're moving. It's kind of like we're worried about the journey right now. We've stopped, we've made these strides in all these positive directions, and now we're starting to have that self-doubt creep in and weigh us down. This is a time to realize that this is just the mental function in your mind right now. When I pull these Osho cards, this is about the energy you have in your day. So, you don't want to rebel against it and just say, I'm going to ignore this feeling. Really try to explore this feeling and understand why it's wearing you down, and understand your self-doubt. An interesting story about hearing about self-doubt. I was listening to an astrology podcast by Chris Brenham, and in it he was interviewing Robert Hand. You'd have to look at the iTunes store to see which one he interviews Robert Hand in. But it's a free podcast, and they're kind of lengthy with Chris Brenham. He's very verbose, not clean. It's not clean and cut, so you might have to listen for quite a long time to hear the story. But the story essentially is this: is Robert Hand was going through some weird astrological transit, and he was having major self-doubt of pursuing astrology because he's an educated man. And I just think that's crazy, hearing from a man who's one of the bigger names in astrology and one of the most well-known for his Planets and Aspects book, where every astrologer pretty much has that book on their bookshelf. It tells you where planets are in their aspects to each other, and what that represents, and their lengthy write-ups on what that means. It's sort of a cookbook, if you will, of transits that happen and what they represent to you in your chart. So what does it mean when Mars squares your sun? How does that transit affect you? What does it mean when Neptune goes in your 6th house? How does that affect you? That's the cookbook for it. And so I find it fascinating that somebody who spent all this time being an expert scholar at astrology had this major self-doubt while pursuing it. And what if he did? There would be huge amounts of volumes of literature and major holes in the astrological world of people's understanding of astrology. And so it creeps up. We have it. This is the burden for today. We have to be able to. It's a cloud. It's a mind cloud. It's a mind card. So we have the ability to change our mind, and we have the ability to get out of our mind funk. Whatever you can do to kind of heal the story in your head, align with your Mercury energy, and make that story right, or see it at least in 2 or 3 different ways to kind of take the burden off you. You'll be better energized for the rest of the day. So that's where our emotions are, and that's fine. That's the thing about it. It's so weird, because I did a lot of readings Friday on October 24th. I did a lot of readings for my coworkers at our Halloween party, and it is funny. It's so hard to do a negative reading for somebody, but people get scared of seeing the negative cards in readings, but we can't be. It's helpful. We get an insight before the day starts of what we need to be paying attention to. This card is telling us to pay attention to our thoughts that are weighing us down. It's good to know ahead of time that you may be experiencing that, because you may be able to get yourself out of it a lot faster. And here we go. This is a murky day. This is the Ten of Swords. And just, you're going to have to just let these comments come through you. You're going to have to let the energy that's coming back, you're just going to have to deal with it. I don't know what else to say. I mean, this is the Ten of Swords, and there's 10 swords basically taking care of this horse here. I mean, this bull. Symbolically, what I think this means is, because it's the bull like Taurus, is is our stubbornness, and really not being stubborn in our emotions today, not being overtly controlling, not being overtly standing our ground, because it's really going to kill us and hurt us in the long run. So can you say your piece and let it go? Get the energy out and let it go. Don't hold on. Don't be stubborn. Don't overtly, don't have your cake and eat it too. If you get the cake, just have the cake for now, eat it later. Just don't. This is just the advice of today: is don't allow your stubbornness to get you killed. Basically, that it's going to just cause you more pain than it's worth today. So that's the advice for today. So we've done the signifying card, understanding our power. We understand that we're going to be having mental things burden us, and we're going to work on not allowing that to happen, or how realigning, healing our thought process. And as long as we're not overtly stubborn, we're going to escape not getting 10 swords. We'll get one sword for being stubborn. We'll realize we're being stubborn, and we'll just say, okay, we'll be passive and we'll let this one go. Don't overtly stand your ground. It's not going to be a good idea today if you're watching this video. And the astrology for today, for Thursday, October 30th of 2014, the first quarter moon is going to happen. It's going to be at 7 degrees 36 minutes of Aquarius at 7:48 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. The moon will go into Aquarius at 6:52 a.m. and that finishes the void of course moon that was happening at 8:01 p.m. yesterday of Wednesday the 29th. The moon is going to square the sun at 7:48 a.m. So once again, that's just the first quarter moon that I already told you about. So the first quarter moon is we planted these new moon wishes. I can't even remember off the top. The 23rd, right? Yeah, the 23rd. When the solar eclipse happened. And so this is the first tension. This is the first compelling action that we're going to have to take. Something's going to happen, and we're going to be forced to take action on whatever intentions that we made. Pay attention to what that action is and work hard to make it right this time, because that's what the square, it's the first square. Square is a stressful aspect. It compels us to take action. That's when, your car breaks down and then you realize you needed to replace the hoses. So you replace the hoses. That needed to happen. That's a good thing for you and your transportation in the long run. But unfortunately, it had to break, you had to break down for you to realize that. So whatever comes up, that's just one silly example, but whatever, for me, I'm doing astrology videos. Somebody gives me feedback, oh, you did your date wrong. Okay, so I go in and I do my date wrong, and then I realize, oh, I need to add some links here. That makes my product better. That does something better. And then I'm like realizing, oh, I need to do something better on my product page. Somebody tries to get a reading from me and they said, your button wasn't working. So I went in and figured out how to do the buttons. All these things are compelling actions that make us fix things. And that's what squares represent. We either rise to the challenge and meet them, or we don't. And so if you really made truthful, intentful wishes on the new moon, as I always suggest that we do, and especially with that solar eclipse energy, because it's going to last for 6 months. Whatever we're feeding now is a process of 6 months right now. We can pay attention to how it grows over the next 6 months. This is the first quarter challenge. Let's meet it. And if you're not seeing any challenges, what I would really suggest is looking at one thing of your wishes and intentions and doing one proactive thing for it. That's what the square represents. And that's how you can time your life with astrology better. And then the moon is going to square Venus at 10:34 p.m., which is beautiful and nice. Maybe you can have a nice drink with your partner. Maybe you can have a beautiful conversation. Maybe you can work on a little bit of art late at night if you're still up around that time. Alright, that's the astrology and the cards of the day. I hope everything was helpful as usual. I mean, I love doing these for free. I love doing I love sharing all this information. And what I'm realizing, my problem right now with all this stuff is I'm just in super obscurity land. Nobody knows what I'm doing, or even people I work with who are friends on my Facebook posts, and I post this everywhere, they don't know. So I'm trying to figure out, I follow some of the, I guess, Wiccan women, and there's not a ton of astrologer men. I do follow Benjamin Bernstein, the Leo King, David Palmer. I watch some of his videos sometimes, and so there's a few men out there. I do watch. I don't know who's another good. There's not a lot of daily activity videos. It's mainly women driven, so I am in a women's field, but I like a lot of the women Wiccans, and they always do these free drawings. And I am thinking about what I should do for my tarot drawing. What I think, there should always be an energy exchange, and I don't always think it has to be money. And I was thinking, especially while you're in the learning process, like I feel I am. I mean, I've been reading cards for years. I mean, a couple years now, but or at least working with them for a couple years intensely. So it's not like I'm completely green, but I'm just trying to figure it out, because I think that you should do readings for tweets or something like that, or have somebody repost your link on their Facebook or whatever, help you social media market yourself just a little bit, so that's kind of the big reward and payment. So that's where I kind of feel I'm failing in these videos, is I'm not doing a good call to action. I really want clients because I want to practice doing astrology more, and in a year, I think after I keep learning, I might raise my rates to a real astrologer's rates. But right now I'm at $65, which is way cheaper for natal reading compared to other astrologers if you look out there. And what I do is I probably spend 6 hours looking at the chart, because I look at the chart, I sleep with the chart at my bedpost, I meditate on it, I pull tarot cards about it, I look over the information, and then I sit down and write a long explanation on the personality, on finances, and on finances, career, personality, and love life and interpersonal relationships. And so I give people this mailed out writing that I do, and I think that's so much helpful to get that up front, and then I do the consultation, and people can ask questions during the consultations that are informed from what I've written. Why did I say what I say? And I don't put the astrology in there. I don't tell the astrology things that I saw, not because I'm hiding anything, but because I think it can get distracting. It's not an astrology lesson. And if they want an astrology lesson, then the consultation time, they can ask me all the astrology and I'll give it to you straight out. So that's not a problem, but it's, at least you have something at the end of the session that you have tangible for the years to come that was written for you in that moment. And I think that's very powerful. But anyway, I hope you enjoy the videos, and I hope you have a great Thursday, October 30th. This is Nicholas, the Hollywood Gypsy.